Most of us are familiar with the vine, "You're not my dad." And if you're not, it's essentially a kid telling someone that they're not their dad. I myself have personally told someone that they are not my dad, but probably not in the sense that you're thinking. It was 2010 in Nashville, Tennessee when I made this statement. Me and my dad had decided that we were going to go to CMA Fest, which we had went in previous years. This was kind of a tradition for us. And we had decided that we were going to go to Riverfront this time and see some people sing. If you've ever been in Nashville, you know that it's always busy, especially on Broadway. And if you've ever been during CMA Fest, you know that it's probably twice as busy, if not more. The story starts after me and my dad get out of the parking garage and hit the Broadway Strip. I would personally describe the Broadway Strip during CMA Fest like a cow trying to be forced into a cattle chute. So once me and my dad had hit Broadway, we were walking down towards Riverfront. And by the time we had reached Tennessee Legends Gifts, I had somehow managed to get a little bit faster than my dad, and he had somehow managed to let me go. When I got in front of the door at Tootsie's Orchid Lounge, I looked around and realized that I didn't have a hold of my dad. My dad was a man with some distinct tattoos that I could always remember. However, on this occasion, he had the one that I could always think back to and remember covered up. This was a woman on his tricep. But he also had a tattoo on his elbow, which was a star that was gray and shaded black, which obviously wasn't original, and you'll see why in just a second. I would like to believe that my dad, if he had Pinterest, this was where he had gotten it. So this is where the star comes in, and the star is the exact reason why I told someone that they weren't my dad. After realizing that I had lost my dad, there was a man in front of me that had the same star. Him and my dad looked nothing alike. However, in my brain at that time, that was my dad. I started saying, "Dad, Dad, Dad." This man did not respond. So I took the next step, which was grabbing this man. When I grabbed this man and made eye contact with him, I looked him dead in the eyes and said, "You're not my dad," in a very shocked tone and very scared tone. After doing this, I looked around and around trying to find my dad. I looked to the left of me, to the right of me, couldn't find him. Finally, I looked to the back of me and I seen my dad, and I realized that I wasn't lost, that I had just gotten in front of him, and that I was okay. He gave me the reassurance that I was okay and everything was going to be okay. Lo and behold, maybe I should have known that he wasn't my dad because of all the height differences, but that didn't matter at the time. But when I did find my dad, everything felt back to normal. I learned a lesson that day that I will never forget, and that I've always followed since then. The lesson was to never get away from anybody in a big crowd. And I also probably should have learned what my dad really looked like and his tattoos by heart.